Hey everyone, coming on today. I have to relay a download, so sometimes in life things don't make sense. Sometimes things fall away. And for myself, I can honestly say that if you followed me or saw anything that I've done in the last year, you may know that this is my 1 year anniversary, meaning that a year ago was when I traversed this topic that I'm about to speak upon, a download that I got. And this is going to mean something to those that it means something to, but it's going to be specific to those that may be in the same situation going through it. And I'm going to talk about what the situation is. I call it the unraveling. Like if you think about a spool of twine just unraveling, that's what this is about. And this was an anniversary for me because a year ago, that's when my unraveling occurred. This is also going to be talking about, for those that do subscribe to this idea of twin flames. Again, I'm giving them an update on that. I can personally say that before this year, I never even knew about this concept. Not to say that in my life I didn't feel like I always had a significant other. I mean, I don't know how to say this without sounding corny. You know what I mean? But I always felt like in my entire life, I always had this passenger with me that saw my life and I saw theirs or felt theirs to a degree. Because it was like there were times that I would walk into places or into energy fields where I felt like I'd been there before, or I had just missed somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the way I always felt like I was connecting with my other self. And twin flames, all of a sudden, as you know, the whole 144 thing started to come about. And I can honestly say that even before this point, I only saw that number in the Bible. But it's now become commonplace. It's now well regarded and understood. So the communication that I'm presenting today was one I had a hard time relaying because it's near and dear to my heart. And I think for those of us that are the way showers, there is this idea that there are waves of integration, waves of illumination, and waves of ascension. So I don't know which wave I was, but I do know that for what I'm going to be describing about the raveling, I've already gone through this. This is my 1 year anniversary to this succession. And that might be why I was getting the message too, because there is this feeling of times coming to an end and rebirthing happening. I've been talking about that in other videos. But Dad basically came through to me in some meditations, and it was a pretty deliberate message. So here I am sharing it. For those of you that are on or prescribed to this twin flame journey, I do want to let you know that this is more about that. There is this idea that I was being shown that there are the two twins, one making a whole, or it could be to the trifecta. One of the twins will have gone through this unraveling. Okay, so what I mean by unraveling, like for those of you that may have watched my stuff about a year ago, at this present point in time last year, I was still a wife, I was still a mother, I was still a partner, I was still on a trajectory of, you know, the way picket fence. We were living in this basement, we were going to rent it out, we were going to save for a house, everything was going well. Our son had just been born. So right about this time last year, I walked into a landmine that I couldn't have seen coming if I tried. However, I was shown this premonition maybe 7 years back. So you have to understand that for about a decade, I had toiled and labored. I had done everything to start up a trajectory of, you know, getting into a relationship, having the children, becoming a mom. All those things were my life path up until that point. And I'm not trying to talk about me in this. I'm talking about you, actually. Because you have to understand that if you are doing this unraveling, you're going to find these kernels of truth in what I'm saying. 10 years, a decade went by of an illusion of stories that I told myself. in my early 30s. I had just broken my ankle. I hit 30. I was like, you know what? I got to start a different life. I do want children. I want a happy existence. And somehow, bang, here comes a relationship out of nowhere. So I start on this trajectory with this person, and I start to tell myself these stories that this is what I want. This is where I'm after. This is what I'm doing. Flash forward to last year, Halloween. At that present moment in time, I did not know that the landmine was going to be in front of me. I stepped on that landmine. My ex had left us for another woman. I was left without a job. I was left without furniture. I was left without a partner. I was left without friends, because in the crux of all of this, a lot of friends had fallen away. And I don't mean like 3 or 4. I mean closer to 30 or 40 people I had to push out of my existence because of everything else that transpired. That landmine basically took everything from under my feet. And for those that are subscribed to a twin flame journey, you might be the way shower. This is not just specific to twins, I believe, because I'm sure, like I said, there is waves of ascension happening. Again, which wave we're in, I do not know. But let's say, for example, I'm a way shower. I went through the landmine. I went through the trajectory of losing everything. I'm almost 40, please understand. Okay, so it's not like I'm some 20-something bouncing back. I'm now almost a 40-something losing everything. And this wasn't like one thing, too. It was like everything. It was the most biggest shakeup I could have never thought would happen to me. So if you are now in a situation that is presenting itself similarly, in the sense that, and it could be like like I said, your job, your family, all these things will start to fall away because they are based on a fallacy. They're based on lies that you told yourself that this is what you wanted. This is who you are. And in this time of soul evolution, your soul is showing you who you are. So this unraveling is not to be sure. This unraveling will scare the living shit out of you. I guarantee you that. I was not given a warning, so if I could give a warning to those that are going through this, you will be okay. You will get through it. Your soul only gives you what you can handle, what is best for your growth. So the thing is that if you had asked me a year ago who my ex was to me, I would have told you, oh, he's my twin. We were kind of telepathic. We had a lot in common. You know, we looked like the picture perfect couple out there. People envied us. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm saying that is facts. That's, people told me all the time. I didn't understand why, because I was just living my life. But the thing was that I didn't realize that he was not my twin. He was my catalyst. He was contracted in my life to be that core shaker for me. And you might have one of these people in your life. It could be your partner. It could be your mom. It could be a coworker. It could be somebody in the trajectory of your existence right now that is going to shake up everything. And Dad was showing me this. He was saying that this unraveling is happening. I may have to go through another one. Who knows? You know what I mean? But the way it was being shown to me was about this twin flame thing. There's this instance that makes me feel like one twin will have gone through this. And in a way, they are the way shower for the other twin, because that twin had to go through the sensations and the pain and the frustration that you went through symbiotically, if that's the word for it. They felt it to a degree because they're usually empathic just like you are. And then the thing is that the second twin who has not gone through it will have to pass through that trial as well. So this unraveling could be happening as we speak for a group of people who are ascending or on a twin flame journey. I did not want to be the person to express this. Dad is saying that because some people have not fulfilled their contracts, there is going to be this swap. There is going to be this exchange. There is going to be this shoe on the other foot situation. This perception change, and this was like he was showing me like through all levels. Like it's not just for twin flames, it's an energy wave that's coming towards us. The where in which like there's going to be this perception from the other side. So even if you're on the battlefield and you're against your enemy, let's say, for some moments in time, you are going to see through the eyes of your enemy. And if you are a twin, then you're going to see through the eyes of your twin. And if you're ascending, you're going to see through the eyes of God. It's like you're going to see from a different perception in this time. And there's a beauty in all of this. Okay, and there's always a rhyme and a reason. Dad is not usually a disciplinarian in any way. He's always pretty good. But he was very assertive in saying that since some people have not wanted to follow through, Dad is going to show them how there is no way around that. And I imagine it's through this unraveling, because those are the chips and the tiles that you stand on that you need to let fall away so that you see if you sink or swim, in a sense. And another thing I was being shown is that within this swap, there is going to be situations where you may adopt some of the capabilities and or the idiosyncrasies, the likings of your twin. And that other twin is also going to see through your eyes in the same way. It is so that certain things can be leveled out, because without level footing, then you can't move forward. So in order for those that are, like, let's say if you're a twin kilter, like, you know, Libra scales, you know, one's here, one's there, or vice versa, right? There's going to come a point where you need to make them level to see the same perception. So Dad was showing me that basically there is going to be this air of change of energy for those that are subscribing to twins, to ascension. And this is what's going to happen. This is going to be decreed. So for those that are not fulfilling and feel it in their guts that they're not following through on something, like there might be something where you're like, I know I have to do this. I know that this is the next step in my existence, in my path here. If you're aware of it, I would say to make the blow easier, just hop on it. Just do it. Or get on it. Because if you wait for Dad to rip those tiles from under your feet, it's going to be a lot harder of a fall. So I will say to you, as those that are connected as well, if you are feeling that this unraveling is going to occur, brace it, walk into it, respect it, know that it's really and truly what is best for us all to move forward. So I just wanted to say that Dad was very adamant that I got this out. I've never prescribed to this, because even before this year, I didn't even know what twin flames were. There was a very famous comedian, I can't remember his name, but this always used to make me laugh. He's like, I lied in my twin bed and I wonder where my brother was. Kind of the feeling, right? It's like you lie in that bed and you know that there's that passenger with you, but you don't see them and you don't like feel them on a day-to-day basis, but sometimes you know they're there. So I also want to say that, because in my life I've always felt that I don't know who my twin is. Maybe you do, and if you do, help them out, be there for them, because when I went through it, I would have loved, or I would have killed for someone to tell me that this was coming my way. So I hope this helps. I love you lots. Like, subscribe, share if you like what I'm saying. Much love. All the best.